Everybody, what's up? Here we go. S5FI crossing 80. That was that alert. All right. So it's boom. And welcome to the show, Jason, Will, Rex, Dan, channel members. And we have David, Ray, Dawn, Ivan, Laura, Craig, Wade, Diana. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show. We have retail sales numbers coming out this week. And there's Kimberly, my favorite subscriber in the whole world, right there in the chat. And as always, we're going to hit 30 minutes of your requests when we get there. Just patience, everybody. So make sure you click the link over here, whatever, here, right here. Click the link right there. Be a subscriber on the channel if you want to be able to make requests. Hey, Ted, good to have you. Rick, good to have you. And a few seconds after you click the button to be a subscriber on the channel, you can participate in the chat. That's the only requirement. And I do have channel memberships available for those that want to go deeper, support the effort, and see what's going on behind the scenes with projects and other things I've got going on. And yeah. So good to have everybody. We're going to talk about the financial earnings that have been coming out this week. Just a touch. We hit on that this morning a little bit too. We've got retail sales numbers coming out Thursday morning before the open. That might be a market mover. Caution is advised. That is right there. 8:30 Eastern time, Thursday. We get core retail sales, unemployment claims, Philly Fed, manufacturing, all right there. That's the market moving economic news release of the week, if you will. So that's what we got. And as I was saying a second ago, we have financial earnings. Here we go. Today we had Citigroup, Bank of America, Bank of City. I confused my words all up. After the close today, we got Pinnacle firing off. We got Interactive Brokers. Tomorrow morning, we get Morgan Stanley, U.S. Bank Corp, Citizens Bank, First Horizon, Synchrony, First Community Corporation, and this cut it off at the bottom. Huh. Weird. Wonder why it cut it off. There we go. And Prologis right there. Then tomorrow after the close, we get Discover Financial, whatever those are. Can't read them. Kinder Morgan. And going on through the week. There we go. Now we can read it. And Steel Dynamics. Not a financial. Get some insurance kicking off in there. Travelers insurance. We're getting some semiconductors, some Netflix, some big tech, some ISRG, some healthcare stuff. We had some United Healthcare Group announcing today, and plummeting. Johnson & Johnson announcing today, not really being the strongest. We also have other financials hitting the rest of the week. Simmons Bank, Regions Financial, Fifth Third Bank, Metropolitan Commercial Bank. I can't remember if Alpine is a bank. First National Bank right there. So a lot of banks, a lot of financials. So what we'll see is money has kind of flowed into financials. They're reporting, they're getting, finding out what happened, reporting their earnings, and then we'll see money flowing out of that sector. It doesn't mean it will pull back, but we see money flowing out of that sector and then into big tech as big tech really starts earnings. We have just Netflix up this week, but we have things like Tesla and Amazon and Apple and Google and Microsoft and, basically 90% of the market cap, it seems like, in those few stocks. I guess it's 75% of the market cap in those few stocks. And we'll get to all those coming in mostly by the end of the month. So anyway, that's what we got cooking. It's what you got to look forward to here in the next couple weeks and days. And this is the last earnings season of 2024. Once we get through this, we'll be on to 2025 after the end of December. Holy moly. We're already 2 weeks into October. We got 2 weeks left. And then we got November and December. So we got 2.5 months left in 2024. Man, time flies. Thank you for being here. Thank you for following me. Thank you for participating in the community that I have here on YouTube and Discord and everything. I mean, if there's something better I can do to provide better service to you, please let me know in the chat. I will do my best to figure it out and try to do it if it is at all reasonable for me to do. And jumping back over, so that's kind of the highlights of what we got coming up and what we're expecting. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation here intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instruments at all. If you need financial advice, you got to hire and consult a financial advisor. That's not what I do. So we're saying don't trade stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. You may lose money. And be careful out there. Make sure you trust somebody you hire. Nobody's watching out for your money more than you. I promise you that. I promise you that. They'll be like, oh, yeah, the government will take care of me. Wrong channel. You should just tune out now. The government is not going to take care of you. And be like, well, I'll hire this financial advisor. I got a guy. He just takes care of me. I guarantee if you took a vested interest in your financial well-being, you'd be better off. But you're here. So you're already taking the first step, right? So hopefully that resonates with you. You're not just hiring a guy or a girl or lady to take care of your financial stuff, because it's probably not going to work out so well in the long run. All right. If you put in the effort, if you learn the stuff that I've got here, you can outperform. You too can prevent forest fires in your account. All right. Let's jump into it. Dun, 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 dun. Let's just start over here. Let's flip to the red list, because that's the Tuesday list we usually go through. And I usually start out with S&P 500, which, guess what? We hit an extension and we got a little pullback today. Just taking back a little bit of yesterday. Yesterday's real excitement. Today went a little higher high and pulled it back. Imagine that. I kind of warned that we may do that after getting so spicy on the upside. And Nasdaq still leaving the upside undone. We still have room to go. This was look at that. That was engulfing candle right there. Might say it's a bearish engulfing, but I think it's a trap. I mean, we had one right there. You see what happened? Shoot off. So we may spend a day or two consolidating and then shoot off again. That's the target right up there, 21.5. Can't convince me we're doing anything else until we do something else. So the more popular way to trade Nasdaq, most people would be looking at this chart. Here's the target right up here. Cha-ching, right there. Now, we've got stuff like Morgan Stanley firing off earnings this week. Look at that candle for something that didn't report earnings yet. We got earnings coming up tomorrow morning. That was a wicked candle. We might get a pop, but that might be indicative that we get a drop on earnings tomorrow morning. Just caution. I'm perma-cautious, all right? Not perma-bearish, perma-cautious. USB, US Bank Corp, also reporting earnings in the morning. We're at the target again right here. Like, this is the last roadmap bounce on the daily, and we're sitting there at the target. So got to be a little careful here. CFG, another one reporting earnings tomorrow, up at the top. FHN, First Horizon. This used to be First Tennessee. Now it's First Horizon. And we get this high and this low, and we're sitting here. This one actually has some room to go and grow right up there. It's about 1791 right there would be my expectation in the coming days. All right. And then Synchrony, SYF. A lot of people love this stock for some reason. Don't know why, but we're at the target. Look at that. Beautiful. Took from late August right up till today to hit that 54 target. What do I expect on earnings? At this point, maybe a pullback. Maybe a pullback. We could extend it on up. Could go for the 1618, but it doesn't have to. Remember, the probability of hitting the purple line, which is 90% of the way to the 1272, is like 75%. Hitting the 1272 is like 70%. Hitting the 1618, this is just a straight move from here from the entry point, shooting right off up there without really getting a big pullback. That gets all the way down to like 40%. That's a big drop from here to here. That's 30%. That, you know, lose 30% of the probability. So just be careful. Chasing dreams. Alrighty. It's a party. The party was yesterday. It's my son's birthday yesterday. All right. And almost. Hey, Justin, good to see you, my man. Man, a coon's age. Glad you stopped by. Yeah, almost, man. We got like 20 to go. Something like that. So close. Good to see you, Justin. All right. And Russell, look at this. At the resistance zone. Just cooking right in here. Makes me nervous. Makes me nervous. Could we pop through the resistance? If we do, we could make a giant run to the extension right up here. Simple as that. But on the smaller time frame, in the tighter zone, we have a significant resistance. We're cooking with lower high and lower high. With a rejection tail today, I would be careful on that chart. Right there, chasing Russell. Oil, wow. Probably indicating it's going to break down lower. Now, that was 3 waves up. It was right into resistance. This is a deep retrace. Right to the 618. So let's just clear it off. Right there. We hit the low. We hit the high. Justin, man, you believe we've been doing this 30 Minutes of Awesome show? Like right now, I think this week even, it makes it 3 full years I've been doing this. Starting 21. So we started this show right here, October 2021, and doing November, 22, 23, 24. It's 3 years right there. 36 months of this. I don't think I missed a week. I mean, I think I missed one day and I did it the next day. Somewhere in there. So it's like 150 shows. Weekly shows right there. So welcome everybody. Yeah. I appreciate it. Justin had a big hand in setting up all the studio, all this awesome stuff I got going on. So all right. Just all the people that have helped me get here. It's been an amazing wild ride. So there we go. This could be a measured bounce. 3 waves is not usually how we get there. 3 waves up and a pullback, but that's 3 waves up, 3 waves down. This could surprise us all with a pop, breaking back above the roadmap line. Could take us right up in here very quickly. Very, very quickly. So watch out for that. And the boss lady, Kimberly, right there. I missed one time. Looks like May 9th. Yeah, I missed one. All right. So, did miss one in there. But, you know, it's a pretty good record going for 3 years, missing only 1 week. One week off in there. Haven't really taken a vacation since summer of 21 either. So, anyway. There we are. There we are. Brent, kind of the same story. Gapping down also. I don't think I missed jury duty because jury duty didn't run into jury duty was earlier this year, but I didn't miss 30 minutes of awesome because of jury duty. Dun, 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 dun. And gasolina. A little bit different chart cooking here. We did not hit the roadmap line like we did here and here. But it's not bullish either because we're not above the roadmap line. So, It did retest the 4-hour. This is a curious chart right here. Look. That roadmap line on the 4-hour is almost like a flip point. We came up, bounced off the bottom, pulled back, bounced up through, Retesting, slight overlap between this high and these lows right there. Slight overlap, not the greatest, but it is allowed in futures occasionally, as stated by Mr. Elliott himself. So we could get a fifth wave move up here. Now, wave 3 has to be the biggest, or I mean, not the biggest, but it can't be the smallest. That's what it can't be the smallest. So right now, that kind of is fitting. So if we get another push up on gasoline in the coming days and weeks, right up into here, that could complete a 5-wave up. So we're looking for our 225 if we're going to be bullish. Otherwise, we might be heading right down here to $1.80. Like the $1.81 target right there on the downside if we break down through here. That's kind of what we're looking at. All right. Heating oil, which is diesel fuel. A little bit different story. Did touch the roadmap line and has done a retrace. That one not quite as clear on the 3-wave situation. That's just kind of like one big move. Yeah, Kimberly was here during Dre Duty. We're talking about 30 minutes of awesome though, not the morning show. Morning show, different situation. I've missed a few morning shows. I've not really missed the 30 minutes of awesome. And this 30 minutes of awesome show been going weekly since all the way back in 21. So it's always been a weekly show, always on Tuesdays. And so heating oil could be a measured bounce. That's what we have cooking right here. So we're cooking with heating oil. So if we're going to bounce, we're going to see this break back up through this zone right here. Break back through the roadmap line right there. And if you want to know more about this roadmap line, this thing I keep talking about, the orange line here, all you got to do, I'm going to flip side here. Right below me, right down here, my channel name. You click on it. You go to the homepage on the channel. Not the YouTube homepage. My channel homepage. The video I have pinned to the channel that says my favorite indicator with some arrows and my crazy face, whatever. You can go watch that. And if you're a DIYer, you can get the code and put it in yourself. But if you're more of like I like people to do things for me. I like an easy button. I just want to put it on my chart. Links in the description. For $5, you can get that code. It's probably the cheapest thing I offer, and maybe it's probably the best return on your money for $5 right there. Now, that's available. So there you go. If you want to know more about it, that's 2 ways to know more about it. Now, you pay the $5, you get a masterclass. It's actually a 2-parter, and you get a weekly watch list with tickers set up to bounce off of the roadmap line with a pattern. You get the pattern, you get all the details. I mean, the pattern's in the video too, so you can watch that. It's all there. All right. Heating oil, is it doing another one of these right here? Is this what we're doing on diesel fuel? We're doing that again, and then we're going to do that again. I don't know. Maybe. So $1.99, or here's the resistance, and there's the resistance. And if we break through those, we could be cruising on higher. And Wrongamer does not want to hear diesel fuel might go up. All right, natural gas coming back down for another roadmap line bounce right there. Right there. Missed the red marker right there is what we're looking for. A test, and then maybe cruising on up to the $3.60 to $4 area right up there. Gold. Just churning, maybe. Churning. We are just sitting here churning gold. We tried to break down and touch the prior zone. We kind of scraped it close. Looks like we got right to, if you actually go off this high right here, right there, we actually retested that high just barely and then ripped right back up. A little more consolidation. If we run it the same length of time as we ran this one, got another couple days, and then we may rip on off. So that may be maybe consolidating through Friday in this zone. We'll see what we get, where we get to here. If we just hold the same pattern, could be like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we could be making a move on up. It's if we do an echo of that consolidation over there. Silver, trying. Man, this is trying. We tried to go higher. Rejected. Tried to go higher. Bigger rejection. Sitting here, winding it up. This thing is set to pop. I think gold's going to go with it. I don't think it's going to leave gold behind. But this is looking highly likely we're going to see a move up into this 37, 38, even 41 area right here. I'm still sitting on my position, just waiting. Waiting. We'll see. I'm going to have to do something soon, though, because I've only got a month left at this point. I bought November spreads, sold November spreads at 27, bought November 31, 30, no, 30, 32, bought 30, sold at 32. I need this thing to be above that 32.50 to cash me out. Copper. Now, I read some garbage that was saying that silver and copper highly correlated. Look at this. Those two charts look drastically different to me. This trying to break out. This one trying to break down below support at the roadmap line. That is two completely different charts. You can't tell me that those two are parallel. All right, that's not the truth. That's being less than honest about the chart. All right, this was a high up here, a lower high. This was a higher high. That was a high, that's a higher high. That's two different patterns. Don't get caught up in other people's garbage, all right? Just when you see stuff, go look at the charts. Don't just be like, oh, well, copper and silver, they're pretty correlated. No, that's not correlated, all right? Be careful out there. All right. We can look at pork and corn and wheat and cocoa and all those things. If you want to, you can make those requests when we get there. Let's talk about Bitcoin really quickly. Trying like a madman to break out. Trying. And trying. We popped up. I thought we were going to do it today. Don't like that doji. You see all these prior big spikes before. We need to get above that downtrend. We got to get the continuation. Let's go look at, go back in time a little bit. Let's look over here. So here was a having event over here. We had this little consolidation, and then we broke out. And this like downtrend of highs cooking here. Doesn't that look kind of familiar? Look right there. Then we broke through. And it got really spicy. Now, here was the prior high. If you go off of the halving event over to that high, took us right at 171 days, roughly. I don't know if I have this perfectly on the money right there. So on average, it takes about 200, 220 days post-halving to really start breaking out, running new highs. But it starts with a breakout of a downtrend of highs. So that's what we're looking for here. Now, this little spike here occurred after the halving. But we kind of got that spike before halving this time. And we've been consolidating that sucker out. This pattern this time, a lot bigger. But if we just ran the 171 days, just the same, look where we're coming out. Look where we're coming out right here. Ooh. Look how close we are. Right there. Right in the time frame. If we can bust out, this could get really spicy really quickly. Somewhere between now and December, we could be breaking on out to new highs on crypto. So, there we go. I mean, hey, BlackRock can do anything they want. They probably cut a deal with the U.S. government too. U.S. government got approval from the Supreme Court to offload however many billions of dollars of Bitcoin. BlackRock, I'm sure, right there, like, hey, cut me a sweetheart deal. We'll bid on it for you. You don't have to go to the open market. We'll just pay you X dollars under the table. And then they take that and sell it to the ETF and pocket the difference. I mean, there's shady stuff that goes on. No doubt. No doubt. So, we'll see what happens. Alrighty. I mean, it's hard to... It's not like the government's going to get their money back if they get swindled. So, Ethereum, Ether still hasn't gotten to the roadmap line. Still being a little more bearish here. This is the point of resistance going higher. We get above it. Game on. 3,500, 3,600. That's probably the primary target right there for our initial move up from this prior high. Then we got this resistance up here and that one over there. So we've got these multiple layers. If we get above that, we could be cruising on up to potentially something like $7,500 on Ethereum. The long-standing target, 20,000 from the prior halving, still hanging out there. We could go as high as that. Could get pretty crazy. I mean, that's almost a 10x or think about that. From these levels right here, right around 2,500. If we go to 20,000, we're getting close to 10x. Close to 10x. That's pretty good play right there. All right. Hey, Infinity. Now, we're at that point in the show where I usually do requests for at least 30 minutes. That's why we call it 30 MA, 30 moving average. I mean, 30 minutes of awesome. And you can do your requests. So to do that, I need you to type in all capitals in the chat, one per person. Use the complete ticker. If you're going to request a crypto, please use like ETH/USD. And if you're going to make multiple requests, one per person per request, give somebody else a chance to go, maybe two people a chance to go, and then you can go again. I'll hit everybody I can until I get tired of doing this, and then we'll do something else, like come back tomorrow morning. For What's Moving, I do a morning show every morning, 9:15 a.m., where I go through the market's poppers and droppers and see what's moving. So right there, we have resistance at 241 on SUI, and, well, could be kind of played out. I don't know. Got a little bit upside left. Volatile. Looking at the smaller time frame, we may need a consolidation back to a 382 retrace of this move right there, which would be, there's the settings, 382. And we could be looking for support in this vicinity right there. Pull back. Then do the fifth wave move, which would be something like this. Put in nominal higher high right up in this 241, 260 area. Looks like as much juice as it has in its tank right now, unless something crazy goes on this ticker. Right there. That's it. That's it. That area right there, 240 to 260 right there. All right. AMD, man, that's it, like right there. Nothing to really update. There's the resistance zone right there, the 618 at 188. We get above that. We could go up higher to 243. If we don't break through that, and if we break down through the roadmap line, that's the first warning. 85 to 105 has basically been the target for a long freaking time. Been talking about that practically all year. Seems like since somewhere around March, I've been talking about this 85 to 105 area. Thought we were going to get there back in July, but then we rallied back up, and now let's try again. So the first warning sign is the roadmap line. Second warning sign is the downtrend, or the uptrend of lows, excuse me. Breaking through the uptrend of lows, then we kind of indicate we're probably going to go flushing on down here. Possibly as low as 80, possibly as low as 50, but you know, the real zone is between 85 and 105. If we can find a bottom there, it can turn around and go up pretty large. But that's a time for, it's a conversation for a different time, different Clean Spark still has resistance under the roadmap line right here. That is the resistance we've got to get through. If we can get through it, well, use the fib tool from this high to this low. I have to turn that 382 back off because it's going to drive me mad. And we could be looking at 27 on the upside. So there's your consolidation. And here's your potential upside. Not a big fan of Clean Spark right now. It just doesn't seem to be getting its crap together. BJ. BJ's Warehouse Clubs. I've never even seen a BJ's. Not something around here. We haven't even had a Costco in Knoxville that long. I mean, not relative to... We've had Sam's Club, like, forever. Like, I was a little kid when they built the Sam's Club. They built the Costco. I mean, it's been a while, but not nearly as long as we've had Sam's Club. And then... I've never even seen a BJ's, so... 95 would be the upside target. It's kind of activated it, so... Statistics on that. Let's see if you can see over my head here. Pull it up. 80% of the time, but we've only had 5 trades, so it's only worked out 5 times in the past. Actually, 4 of those worked out. 1 of them didn't. And they usually last about 37 bars. So there was the entry right there. And if it's going to work out, it's going to go right up here to 94.66. That's what we got cooking. All right. Next up, C Unlimited, or C Limited, C Unlimited. That went rocking and rolling right out to the target zone. I guess next, resistance up here at 104.94. Popped up, retraced to the breakout, and extension. Yeah, maybe get to 104, but really, I would expect this to retrace back to the roadmap line at some point in the future over here. How long? Got me. Got me. I don't try to trade them down to the downside. I just try to get this little piece from the 618, which this fired off the entry right back here. That was the target right there. And we retraced, and then we popped this crazy move. Just gonna have to wait for it to set up again. That's what we got. And Celsius Holdings. That looks kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie. That looks kind of bad. And that looks a lot like the bubble pattern. Except it didn't do much consolidation before it broke down. It's probably gonna come back down to at least... If I was gonna bet on it, we're pretty close to potentially finding a bottom. But it would not surprise me one bit to get one little flush right down in here. That's like 50% downside though. So be careful. We could get one flush down in this box, anywhere in the box really. Could just be the top of the box, could be down in the box. And then we can start on the upside. But right now, we'll be very cautious. This is not screaming, hey, look at me, there's a giant opportunity here. It's just not. It's not what it's saying to me. CW. Curtis Wright. That's extension targets. Be careful. Hadn't hit the roadmap line since way back here, so there's not much to say about that. When they go exponential, they come back down pretty violently. We'll be very, very careful here. They can only go vertical for so long. And they come back. Celsius is a prime example. You're like, nah. And look. And Celsius did this before. And flat for a long time. Bigger. Usually they do big one and then smaller ones. But this one did a small one then a bigger one. I'm just saying. Gotta be careful. Permacautious. We are down in the zone that... 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 104.94. 1 Yeah, I'd be careful. Let's see. Get on this. Yeah. It looks better on non-log scale, but yeah. What's that? What's the thing you always say? Niche Keats, Kimberly. No, that's kind of like no bueno. Not good. And all right. So CW, yikes. I'd be careful. That's gone vertical. BBAI. So I'm a trend pullback continuation trader. I look for high probability trend pullback continuations when they're just like trend and no pullback. There's nothing. It's like Big Bear. Guess what the pattern is? Is that very hard to tell? I mean, do you see it? It's like a dying heartbeat. I would not touch this with your money. I wouldn't touch it with my money. I wouldn't touch it with money that I found laying in the street. Yeah, I don't think they've got the next Chat GPT or anything there. It looks like dangerous. Danger. That's what that chart says to me. Mara hasn't really changed since last week. Sideways is there's the resistance at the roadmap line. Right there. Here's support right here. And we're still in the sideways potential right there until something changes. We are still sideways. So breakouts, we can go up. Break down, well, that's going to suck. Sideways is what I expect until proven otherwise. That's what we got. I did sell $22 calls a couple weeks ago. I don't expect to get called away. They're still good for a week or two more. We'll see. And CRWD. Hey, I thought you were super bullish on Mora. I am, but Bitcoin's got to break out. Bitcoin's still in a downtrend. I mean, come on. Hadn't broken out yet. Don't get overly bearish. Don't get overly bullish until things prove it. So this has a channel going. Probably going to come back to the bottom. That would be what I would expect. That's why there's a kind of this primary arrow upward, but so we've got this parallel channel. That's what you would call it. Look at there. Kind of like hanging that channel. If we can break through that gap down, you see this gap we did right here. Got to break through that. Sets the stage for going even higher. We may come up to it and reject and go lower down here. So this is a very important level to fill that gap. You'd be like, I've had this question asked a bunch of like, JT, you always look for the gap fill from the underside, right? Well, people were buying, all right? Just think about it. People, like, most traders don't trade options. We active traders tend to use options, but a lot of traders don't use options, okay? A lot of them just buy shares. People bought. People were buying here. People were buying here. People were still buying here. And then guess what? This thing gapped down and went even into the abyss here, all right? So people were like, I am doubling down. Gonna double down. Rallied up, pulled back, and double down again. Rally up, pull back, add a little more. Maybe buying these dips, right? And then when it fills the gap over here, when this gap fills, they're back to making money. They've added on the dips. They're really proud of themselves. They're like, I can make a profit on that last little bit I bought right there. And they sell, and it creates a big pullback. All right. Now, gap ups, that's not the same situation. All right. People weren't selling into the low and then got caught. You know, once you sell, you're out. All right. Once you buy, you're committed. And then the price drops and you're like, oh, mother fudge. All right. It's a whole different psychological game. So gap downs are significant resistance. Gap ups don't tend to matter as much. That's just my. Now, that doesn't necessarily hold true on futures, but it does on regular equities like CrowdStrike. Okay? Just kind of keep it in mind when you look at charts like that. Oracle, that's why the gaps are so important when we're underneath them. Now, when we gapped up right here on Oracle, that's not going to be support. Like, we can slice back through that. But a lot of times when we do this, we'll gap right back over if we're going to come back down. So, something about that zone, we'll just gap up and down. We gapped up about that one, we drifted down, and then we gapped up. And this one just gaps a lot. Leaves gaps hanging, gaps up, gaps down. You know, see how we came up into that one, and then we rejected with a gap down, came up into it again, back down, and then we gap back up, right back through it. So we gap down and gap back up. Never really fully filled it till we drifted back down into it. It's just weird with gaps sometimes. LEV, Oracle. I should just talk about where Oracle's going, not just about the gaps. So Oracle's probably going higher. We're at the extension of the last few pullbacks here. This one was the last one that hit the roadmap line. We're definitely extensions. But zooming out the bigger picture. Zooming out the bigger picture. You see that bubble pop in there? Bubble pop. Ooh, pop. Be careful on these things. Be careful on these things. Yeah, so the bigger pullback that happened back on the dot-com bust, right? We're just now poking through the resistance. Just now. All these years later. Took 24 years to get here. From that peak back here. That's a long time. We could make it up to 515 here. I think it's got some juice left in the tank. That initial move off of that consolidation could put us up in this 273 to 400 area, possibly size 515. But this could also get played out. So we're not really going vertical, not nearly to the extent we were back here. So this could be sustainable. We could keep it going for a while. This can definitely extend. It could be 500, it could be 900. It doesn't have, unless it starts going vertical. That's when you got to watch out. LEV. Lion Electric. Looks like a dumpster fire. I wouldn't touch that with anybody's money. It's low price stuff and a nasty chart. Surprised it doesn't even have. Man. It's a few days away from becoming a dumpster fire by having a reverse split. They'll, if they're going to try to stay listed, they're going to do a reverse split. Probably looks like 10 for 1, maybe 20 for 1. Dumpster fire in the making right there. A, B, and B, A, B, and B. Stuck under the roadmap line. That's bearish until we're above. And the resistance, pull that down to the low. The resistance is right there at that consolidation. There you go. And Tesla. I talk about this like every morning. Should come by. There's the targets. If we can bounce. That's what we got cooking. Or we got the double dragon, double drawings. So we've set up a measured bounce, and there's the targets. We just doing another little roadmap bounce right here. Now, measured bounces aren't the high probability, but they do have giant upside targets. High probability target, if we break through the 618, Gonna have to beat that gap down we had the other day on the robo event. 273, possibly 280 on the upside, and then bigger targets up at 350, possibly even up to that 426, maybe even 500 up there. Nice and spicy, but we got a lot of upside to work through. DJT is stuck at the roadmap line here, trying to push higher. We got the lower low that I was calling for a while. There's no high probability anything until we get a pullback. That's just a bounce off of the low. It can come right back down. I mean, it's like pop, drop, pop, drop, pop, drop, pop. Could just drop again. I mean, prime example of this. Look at this. Pop, drifting off, pop, drifting off. I mean, this is gonna just keep drifting off. Like that's kind of the way these work. And next up, nice. If you've never seen it before, here's the pattern right here. This is what I'm talking about. This is the bubble pattern. Psychology of a market, right? So when people start talking about these things, when they're like all excited, I'm going to buy more. I'm going to tell everybody I know to buy. We give everybody hot stock tips right here. You got euphoria. We're all going to be rich. We just all have to buy more. This thing's never going to stop. You hear people say this stuff, even especially people that don't trade, people that don't follow the market. They don't know jack squat about, they can't name 10 tickers off the top of their head. And they start talking about a stock and telling people to, like, hey, my buddy told me to buy this. Hey, I'm into this. It's making tons of money. You know, when they start talking about it, and then they're just like, oh man, we're all going to be rich. We can just retire. And then it pulls back, and then we get complacency building up. Get this chop. We just need this baby to cool off. Buy the dip. Double down. And then it starts breaking down. This dip's taking longer than I expected. And this is great company. We're going to get our money back. And oh my gosh, we got a GTFO. I'm getting 100% out before I lose more. The stock market's just a big casino. It's a big Ponzi scheme. In fact, I had somebody in the office earlier today told me it was just a big Ponzi scheme. They didn't say how anybody long-term made money in the stock market when he was asking me what I was doing. And it made me laugh. You know, he was actually angry about it too, right there. You got to watch out right there. And so this is the psychology of a market cycle. I call it the bubble pattern because we see this play out. We see like the crowd, like this is humans like sucking people in. We see this all the time. And there's the meme about buy, sell. Same exact kind of thing here. Same exact kind of thing. You see these ramp up and then the ramp down. So this will rip your money right there. That's the rip your money pattern. So that's what we got. All right. Nice. Dun, 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 dun. Just humming along, but we're under the roadmap line here. Made a move down, made a retrace, haven't come down. So we run from this high to this low. We turn down at a key resistance point right here to make an echo of the first move. First move down, echoed off of that retrace would be right down here. And we can get there faster and even extend it down to 105. So that would be the target area right in there that I would expect. Right in there. That's nice for you. Upside, yeah, it could, but could go up. We're going to have to break through the roadmap line, break through this prior resistance, all this consolidation, actually break up in a meaningful way, get continuation, and 352 would be the upside. Deck out, Deckers Outdoor. Then do a split. Regular 6-for-1 split. Splits have not been the most bullish thing lately. Sitting right at resistance. Right at the resistance, right in there. If we can break through that 193, possibly 201 in the upside. If we don't break through that, same thing I was just talking about. First move down, retrace, Next move down can put us right down in this zone. Right in there. And MU. Micron. So here's the resistance. Right. We've got multiple layers here. Resistance here. Resistance here on that gap down. Target up there. Right there. That 175 area. And if it fails, we could be right down here at this 65 level. Maybe like, JT, that is a giant freaking zone. Yeah, that's a giant move. Went a little exponential, and it can take it right back. Like, I mean, that's, you see that pattern, right? We see how it went. Whoop. Now we're in this consolidation thing. If we break down, guess where we're going? Same pattern. All right. I don't like to trade those patterns because you lose your money. The thing is, the market tends to know that where it's going on the downside and price that in, and you don't make any money when it drops. Ask me how I know on GME. Anyway, I've tried several times. It just never seems to work out. BMY, my goodness, this is a sideways nasty chart right here. Look how long it's been going sideways. Look at this. Really, look at this. Does that feel like a company that's going somewhere? I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't touch this. That's 30 years almost of nothing. Like my entire trading career, this has gone absolutely nowhere. If I bought, let's see, where's the first day I funded an account? Right. If I funded an account, I'd be like $12 a share. Or $8 a share. Yeah. I wouldn't touch that one. Sorry if that's your baby. That's a company that doesn't know how to manage the share price. Bye-bye. If this plays out, there's the target. It's retracing the roadmap line on the daily. And we may come back down. In the short term, we may come back down in this area right here around 85, 86. And before we can bounce up into that zone right there, around 150. PayPal is looking very nice. If it can finish the breakout, we kind of hit we did this echo off the lows. You know, I can remove these arrows and just kind of show you. So the first move up was this move right here. This is same pattern I was talking about going down. This is just to the upside, all right? That right there. You see how we went a little faster on the second move? Same exact pattern I was talking about on the downside. We just did it off the lows. This is a reversal pattern is what this is. So we came up, retraced, that held, if you run the fib line, see how it held the 618, popping up, but we stopped at the 100. We stopped at the 1.0. That means that this move right there and this move right here are pretty much echoes of each other. Size-wise, not time-wise, but size-wise. The dollar move was basically about the same. Now, if we can get an extension to the 1272, it makes it a little more bullish, but that's still like coin flip zone. We have to get all the way up to the 1618 to really start tipping the scales that we may be setting up something more bullish long term. If we turn down here, more than likely, we are going to make an extension lower. So that whole move right there, it's basically like a weekly chart roadmap bounce. You see it right there. Come up into that resistance, turn down, break through the 618, go for an extension down here around 43, 46. Be careful chasing PayPal. It's got a lot of resistance working against it here. Lots of resistance. All right. LAUR. Support right there. We can break through this 618. 17 on the upside. Not a big mover. And I did PayPal, Nike. Glanced off the roadmap line. That did it in three-way fashion. Man. Bummer. So right now, this looks like that was a retrace. We break down below this support. Here's the support right now. And the reason I'm kind of concerned, the reason I'm like, oh man, see that uptrend of lows, just two lows, but we're already below it. We get below this, probably coming down here to 66, 68 area down here. I have alerts down there because I kind of halfway expected it to go down there. Anyway, there you go. Drug. My gosh, what a nasty chart. So this is something the Food and Drug Administration is involved in, biotech here. Now, unless this is like, I'm not even getting involved in what this is, but unless it saves everybody and makes us live 100 times longer, this is probably going to do the same thing it did right there, and the same thing it did here, and do the same thing over here. Now, this can go up to ridiculous levels before it comes back down, but just take a gander at this. That's the bubble pattern. Same thing. We went crazy for a good long time. Consolidating. Breaking down. We can come back down to the lows. Another one. Just saying. Biotech's extremely dangerous. Things that Food and Drug Administration are involved in. FDA. I wouldn't mess with it. If you want to play biotechs, that's fine. That's not mine. Not my bag, baby. I'm not gonna play. Not even gonna comment because it doesn't matter. A lot of people made a lot of money, especially if you're loading up at $1. Protect your profit. We're right near all-time high. Even with the reverse split in there. That's the crazy part. It was never at 44. That reverse split made it that high. Divide that 40 price by, it was like $8 when it was up here. It was $8. It dropped out. They had to reverse split it. And it dropped out back to $1. It's a dangerous chart if I ever saw one. Firm. And if you make rich on that one, good on you. Not going to complain. Firm, potentially breaking on out. Dun, 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 dun. Target would be 60, possibly 66 on that one. And BITF. BIF. I like BitQ better. BitF looks nasty. Under the roadmap line. At the lows. No enthusiasm. Not even showing any. Or even drop down to a lower parallel channel here. BitQ. This is Crypto Industry Innovators. This looks likely to break out right here. Potential for this to rock and roll on higher. I wonder why that didn't fire my alert. Oh, I wanted to get through that gap over there. And look at that pop, possibly 21, possibly all the way up to 30 or 40. 17 is probably more likely on BitQ. And that's not just a single miner. I know BitF is. And BTBT just sitting here consolidating sideways. Hadn't broken out of the downtrend of highs, uptrend of lows. Hadn't broken out, just sideways, more sideways. That's what I expect. More sideways. If you want to know more in depth on crypto stuff, subscribe to Crypto Power Plays because that's what I do every week. And Snow still hunting the bottom. Still lower high, still hunting the bottom. Not proving it yet. Looking for a bottom. I gotta see some sort of reversal pattern. That's not it. It's not a confirmation. Sorry about the train. Booking. Yeah. Is at the target. Yeah. Possibly 44, possibly 48 on the upside for booking. COF, Capital One, Financial, rocking and rolling. Did they decide to buy DF? I mean, is the deal with DFS going through or not? Those charts look the same. You may know if that deal's still on or off. Anybody heard? I mean, it's right at the target, and DFS right at the target. $151, $155, and DKNG. And there you go. That's the upside. That's the downside. We're right in the middle of the coin flip, and we rejected that. So kind of biased to the downside on DKNG. And already did Tesla. If you missed it, you can reuse the scroll thingy on the bottom here and go back in time. Berry Global Capital. Doesn't make me feel like the best opportunity is present on this chart. I mean, possibly it can break out and go above 75. Oh yeah, we could be looking for some nice upside. Right now, I'm not feeling it. I mean, it just doesn't seem like. All right, we only have so much time, right? We've got time. We don't know how much time. Like, honestly, tomorrow could be your last day. Tomorrow could be my last day. We never know. I'm hoping I live a couple hundred years, but you know, people laugh at that. But I hope I'm around for 200-300 years. I've seen some cool stuff already. I want to see the cool stuff that comes out a couple hundred years from now. But we never know how many days we got left. So why spend your time on something like this? This has been nowhere for like 13 years. Or something like that. I mean, just a ridiculous long time. I mean, just 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I mean, 7, 8 years. Just a ridiculous length of time sideways. We've only got so much time, and we've only got so much money. Why would you type your money here, set an alert up here when it's breaking out, then you look at it? All right. I don't think there's giant upside potential. That's why some of these, when I'm like, oh, it's just sideways nasty. And when they're doing this, like, sure, you could get lucky and it do one of those big crazy things like drug. But let's be honest, that's the rarity. All right. That's like the once in a million. If you're playing the lottery, go play the lottery. Don't come here asking me if your lottery play is going to play out. All right. This is not a lottery play. This is not even like worth my time at the moment. I'm sorry if you think this is the next like greatest whatever. If you believe in a story, that's great. If you're looking at the stock chart, that's a choppy sideways hot mess of sideways action. That high, that low, they overlap. That's sideways choppy. This high, this low, they overlap. That's more sideways choppy. This high, the next low, they probably overlap. That's more sideways choppy. This is just not proven it's going anywhere. And to me, it's not worth tying up investment capital in something. Now, if you're playing on smaller time frames, you probably have some great moves. Like down here in the 15-minute, there's some epic nice runs. Like you catch some money. But know that's your game, all right? Here on 30 MA, 30 minutes of awesome, I'm looking at the daily chart, looking for stuff that's going to play out in 3 to 5 months, and this is just not got me excited right there. ASML got smacked down today. They accidentally posted their earnings, and It wasn't good. Wasn't good. And I had a further downside target. Let's jump over to, I know it was over here. Look at that. Look at that. Right there. Right down to it. I drew it on there. I drew it on that chart. I drew the upside before we even got there. Like, what, 2 weeks ago? Probably. Right there we are. Almost touched it today. May get a little further downside, 694. We can get there. Potential to buy a bottom, but that's a knife catch at this point. It can slice your arm off and your account off and leave you for dead. Be careful. That can go further down. No bottom in place. I would not buy it. I played this on the upside, but not buying that now. Not yet. NUE, still under the roadmap line. It's still bearish incline. Be careful. This looks very much like that right there. And we can get the same result right there. NT-NX. So there's opportunity here. This has got a gap down in a three-wave fashion. Gap down is resistance. I don't, these ones that gap down from the high, not my really favorite because you can get back up here and then get a massive retrace. 78, 84 potential on the upside. ENPH. Yeah, that fired off my alert today because it hit the 618 retrace. It had missed, and it hit it today. But closing down here might mean it's on the path to go down to 67 down here. We might get a lower low. That could just been a bounce off the roadmap line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down into the lows. Be careful. Not trying to be super bearish, but that's a bearish pattern. And PFGC. And that one's at Performance Food Group at the highs. Watch for the what, you know, set your alert. Like where, when it comes back down, am I going to take profit here? I'm going to take profit here. Like if it gets up to here, am I going to take profit here, here? Set your plan. I'd have an exit plan. This is likely to retrace at some point. This is coming up pretty steeply, but this is likely to come back and meet it somewhere over here in the future. We just don't know where or when. And this could be up here and then come back. Just don't know where or when. So have your exit plan ready. Where are you going to get out? If you're looking to get in, you're too late. Alrighty. PNW. I am long this one, looking for 400. Might get it. Right there has been my target since, what, when I buy? April? Bought right over here. Sat through this pullback, sat through that, sat through that, sat through that, sat through that, sat through that. Now we just have a little bit of upside left. 400. It's my exit. I am long. Been long since back here. Maybe it's March. February, March, April. Somewhere in there. Somewhere right over here. Just been waiting. I bought shares, so no time constraint. Be careful playing options. Sometimes shares are the best choice. VRT. Well, targets, baby. Have the exit plan. 118, 15. Be my primary target. 126 above that. 153 above that. And then back to the roadmap line after we hit. So expect it to hit here and then retrace. That would be the primary expectation. And Visa. Everywhere you want to be. So we missed the target on that last run there. There's some kind of investigation and whatever allegations and monopoly, blah, blah, blah. Came back down to the roadmap line. Bouncing. Came up just shy. That 296 target, 301 target above that. And then probably retrace again somewhere over here. That would be what that's just the classic pattern I would expect. You know, we bounced right up there. Went a little spicy that time. We could get a little spicy this time. We could come up here and then retrace. So there you go. PLTR. I mean, that's just a rocket ship at this point. We're back to all-time highs. Can it retrace? Could. Does it have to retrace? Shoot, no. It can just break on out. We go to 58, possibly 75, possibly even 150. There's your targets right there. Doesn't have to retrace. I mean, I've been expecting this to retrace for a while. It just keeps not doing it, so I can just keep rocking and rolling higher. I played the move from like $7 to like $20, and it just keeps on going. I was in at 7, out at 20 or whatever, right in here. Waited for the pullback, never happened. There it goes. Now, it might pull back, but it didn't have to. All right. Just always remember, they don't have to. AMD, I did. That was one of the first ones I did. You have to pull back on the timeline. ITCI. We're below 70 people, so I'm going to wrap this up here in a minute. And just kind of humming along. It's really choppy. Man. It might make an extension. I'm not feeling it's like the best opportunity. Maybe 88 on the upside. I bet this doesn't have a ton of. This is biotech pharma stuff. This could just rip off, you know, because, hey, we found a miracle drug. We solved cancer, whatever. Yeah. I don't play biotechs. Just not my bag. Very choppy. PK. That looks a little bearish. May go lower. Oh, come on now. It just doesn't feel like opportunity to me. That was a 3-wave move up. This high, this low, right at the 618. Repeating that move. Echoing that move. Right down here. Possibly down to 7. Just don't feel like that's going to be a big upside opportunity. Now, if we can break through here, possibly 27. I mean, it's like a double on the upside or getting cut in half on the downside. Pretty much a coin flip. And GNRC. Watch out for the pullback. Hurricane's over. These things happen. I mean, these have a pattern, all right? The pattern usually goes ramping into hurricanes and pull back after the hurricanes. Just happens to be ramping in the hurricane, pull back after the hurricane. So watch out for the pullback. That did hit some targets there. Right up into the targets. Could extend higher. Watch out for the pullback. That's TNG. Scorpio tankers. Oh, not good. That move could take us down to this area down here. Breaking the low. Could take us right down there. Oxy, nothing good there. Oxy. Target down there at 46. Howdy, Sledge. Good to see you. And Home Depot. He's rocking at the target. Watch for the pullback here, too. Home Depot, Lowe's, Generac, other generator producers. I can't think of their names at the moment. All the things that seems like they do really good after hurricanes tend to pull back after hurricane season. So just be careful. Already did BTBT, I thought, but we'll hit it again. BTBT. It's just stuck in the sideways right there. Resistance, support, sideways. Resistance is on the downwind, support's on the upwind, and we're in the middle, sideways. And yeah, sometimes I get lucky. Grip Jackson back there, take care of my dad. Started working out, blah, blah, blah. Thank you, Tim and Jan Rowland, for becoming a channel member. And thanks for coming, everybody. I'm going to wrap it up here. I'll be back first thing in the morning. Same bat time, same bat channel as always at 9:15 Eastern time. I go live talking about the poppers and the droppers for the day. Hopefully this was helpful. If it was, give me a thumbs up on the video and possibly share with somebody. Let them know the kind of things I do. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow morning, bright and early, 9:15. Same bat time, same bat channel. And we'll see you in the morning. Channel member get extra content and behind the scenes information. The link for it is right below the video. It has a join button down there if you are interested. Have a great day, everybody.